President Maybelline was making the rounds, attempting to defend his boss and the chairman of the FCC with a new fairy tale even a 5-year-old wouldn't believe.
Well, there are two things. First of all, I'd like them to tell me exactly what Brendan Carr did to have Jimmy Kimmel taken off the air, because number one, he is currently on the air, and to the extent that he isn't in certain stations, it's because he's not funny and because his ratings aren't very good.
J-Dog, we're back on all the stations.
JD Vance spent days huffing and puffing after Jimmy Kimmel roasted him on live TV again. Nothing rattles a politician quite like jokes that are also true. But Kimmel didn't stop at mocking his haircut. He dismantled Vance's record, his amplified hoaxes, his flair for the performative, and his dizzying transformation from a Trump skeptic armed with a thesaurus to one of Trump's loudest cheerleaders. For those following the saga, Vance's outrage makes sense. For newcomers, brace yourself. In Springfield, Ohio, Vance pushed one of the most reckless and debunked rumors of the cycle, that Haitian migrants were killing and eating pets. Not hearsay from a neighbor or a cousin, this was a full-on social media panic. Local officials, reporters on the ground, and residents quickly debunked it, but Vance kept promoting it anyway. In the attention economy, fear and outrage are currency, and Vance cashed in big. Meanwhile, Kimmel's sharp, truth-laced humor cut through the noise, exposing just how performative and opportunistic Vance's political persona has become. It wasn't just comedy, it was accountability in real time.
Vance hasn't been under a microscope like this since his wife asked him why the couch was so sticky. He told him, just have fun, and you know what? It seems like he did.
I want to answer the question, but I want to actually give an introduction.
The single cat lady's back on your side. Can't help but you kind of feel sympathy for J.D. Vance having to defend Donald Trump, who he himself...
Kimmel dismantled the rumor in a monologue that did exactly what good satire should. He showed the receipts, traced how the lie spread, and roasted the guy carrying the torch as if he'd solved the Lindbergh kidnapping. One of Kimmel's lines nailed it. You don't get to set your backyard on fire and then run around screaming about the heat. If you caught that segment, drop a comment. Was Vance genuinely misled and sloppy, or deliberately fueling panic for clicks and clout? It matters because this isn't a one-off. The pattern stretches back years. Remember when J.D. Vance built his brand as the critic-in-chief of Trumpism? During the bestseller and book tour era, he meticulously chronicled what was wrong with Trumpism, calling it a cultural toxin that seduces while it destroys. That was the serious conservative thinker J.D. Vance. Then, almost overnight, poof pip, critiques vanished, replaced with praise. Cap on. Suddenly he was on TV explaining why the very man he once trashed was now indispensable. Kimmel doesn't need to strain for punchlines. He simply plays the clips. Old Vance tearing into Trump, new Vance worshipping him, and lets the audience do the math. The humor lands because it's grounded in undeniable truth. Comedy tip: when your greatest hits your own words, your own record completely undermine your current narrative, you're not facing a messaging problem, you're facing a credibility problem. And for Vance, that problem has now become primetimeentertainment.net.
You're somewhere between a hair in your salad and chlamydia. I'm not the one who's going to be doing mascara tutorials on YouTube. And a vice president who wear more makeup than Kylie Jenner and Lady Gaga combined in this audience tonight. And a lot of them are named Tony. A lot of my Uncle Tony.
Vance's credibility problem also shows up in his favorite culture war talking points. Take the infamous childless cat lady's line, the claim that America is run by people without kids, who supposedly don't care about the future. Never mind that policies like healthcare, child tax credits, and paid leave are explicitly about children. Kimmel cut through the sneer with ease. The country isn't a mummy blog, and civic contribution isn't measured by birth certificates. Leadership and responsibility aren't about parenthood. They're about engaging with the rules and realities of a democracy.
Trouble, JD. I was kind of hoping they'd ask the candidates like some fun questions, like, you know, they used to do that, like, is a hot dog a sandwich? And then J.D. Vance would stare into the camera and say, when you're from Haiti, any dog can be a sandwich. They used a lot more talk about cats and dog eating, not to fact check the debate live. Instead, they put a QR code on the screen.
For most people, being misnamed by your hero would be a red flag. For J.D. Vance, it became a branding opportunity. Kimmel didn't even have to stretch. Who trades their dignity for a shout-out, then smiles when they don't even get the shout-out. The joke practically wrote itself. After that, every time Vance scrambled to defend another Trump misstep, teleprompter mishaps, conspiracy flops, corporate threats, it was like a game of late-night Mad Libs. Insert a lie here, add outrage there, hit play, repeat. What really set Vance off recently was Kimmel debunking the claim that the show had been benched for low ratings, that spin collapsed faster than a folding chair. The preemption saga was actually about pressure, a very public brush with government-backed interference. When Kimmel came roaring back, the audience followed, enjoying the spectacle and the unmistakable truth. J.D. Vance's attempts to control the narrative are increasingly laughable.